Hey everyone, and welcome back to the news. So, Battle for Azeroth, shit, it's almost upon us. In just 3 days, your launcher is going to read 8.0.1 Battle for Azeroth. Legion will be over, we'll all be going mad, making preparations for the next 2 years of the game's life. So there's quite a lot going on, lots to talk about. We're going to kick it off with the death of Karazhan. So I'm going to front load this video with 1 or 2 things that I think you should probably do before the patch hits, and one of those things is the Karazhan trash farm. Now, this was one of the better ways to level up characters in the mid-range, and it has been killed off with the pre-patch. So now is pretty much your time to do it. And basically, you get to level 71, you go to Karazhan, then you kill all the trash. Then you run out of the instance, you right-click your character portrait, you reset the instance. Then you go back in, you kill the trash, you leave again, and you reset the instance. Rinse and repeat until you hit level 81. Now, this is basically it's one of the really slow level brackets. Many players have relied on this method to maintain their sanity and level up a bit faster. So yeah, you just want to hit level 71, then do Karazhan from 71 to 81. And the reason why it works is because once you hit level 71, the scaling makes it such that the level 70 TBC content is far easier, so it's soloable, though of course doing as much damage, as you can, like it will be faster if you do that. Yeah, so you'll get level like every 20 minutes with this method, so I would recommend doing it if you want to get a few characters over that little sort of leveling blip. And next up, Mage Towers. They're going to be dead on Tuesday for the US or Wednesday for the EU. You'll no longer be able to get your appearances, so there's that. Have fun. I've put literally no time into Mage Towers this side of 2018 because I basically haven't touched live at all. It's that mix of game dev and beta that's basically meant my drive to play live is 0, which is kind of weird, but I think taking a break from live is really important, and the twilight of the expansion is the best time to just nope out of WoW for a bit. All that pent-up energy is going to be unleashed on BfA seriously when it hits August, which I can't wait for. I mean, hell, the game dev team pretty much know that I'm going to be AWOL basically for a fortnight when it comes to covering the launch. And then just to finish things off, it's your last chance for a few things. I don't want to repeat everything, but I did recently do a video where I covered all the things that are going away. In short, the Brawlers Guild is gone, Proving Grounds are gone, Ahead of the Curve is gone, Cutting Edge is gone, Elite PvP transmogs are gone, First Aid's also going to be gone. Interestingly, they did tweet the Brawlers Guild Gold is not going to be converted, and you will be able to use that when the guild comes back. So that's kind of cool. And there is actually another feature which is unexpected, and that's the future of legendaries. We actually know what's going to happen to them in BfA, and it's kind of interesting. So what we already know is that their effects, like, they die at level 115, but we weren't really sure if you'd ever be able to get them again after Legion. Well, turns out you can. So once the pre-patch hits, the legendary vendor will no longer sell random tokens. Instead, he's going to sell specific legendaries at the same price with the writhing essences that you're used to. So this will allow you to pick up specific legendaries to fill out your set and just play around with. Now, they are going to be great for the initial leveling of Battle for Azeroth. I mean, right, just think about this. You're going to be having 1 or 2 bits of Azerite gear, you're going to have 2 Legion legendaries, and you're going to have the Heart of Azeroth necklace. Now, of course, it's a neck, so things like Pyrdaz, whatever, they're destined for the bin because your Heart of Azeroth is going in the next slot, but yeah, this will let you optimize the first half of your leveling, I suppose. But you know what? I think we can go deeper. So back in Legion, we had level 101 twinking. It seems like level 111 twinking will be possible in BfA. Now, the reason why it's so powerful is that you could, in Legion, have some mid-range item level 1110 gear, but on a character that was level 101, so that the rating conversions were insane. This basically meant you could have secondary stat percentages way beyond normal character. Well, imagine that, but 2 legendaries, Heart of Azeroth, and a really high-level artifact weapon. It could be complete insanity, so perhaps that's going to yield a guide video for me in maybe a month or 2. Okay, next up, calendar art. So we've got a bit of a strange story, perhaps an unintentional pseudo-announcement that basically what happened is that Blizzard unveiled a calendar for 2019, and it's got loads of Warcraft artwork. And the artwork is mostly scenes from the various expansion animatics like WoD's Lords of War and Legion's Harbingers. But if you look closer, there's some new ones. There's Jaina, Ashara, and Sylvanas. Now, we need to tie this back into an interview with Inven where it was said that there would be a series of 3 animated shorts for this expansion. So, what do we have? Well, we've got 3 bits of key art, and at one point Blizzard teased some shorts. Now, this could go a few different ways. First of all, I just want to mention the Burning of Teldrassil. I'm not exactly sure if that cutscene is going to be a pre-rendered one with the in-game WoW assets, or if it's going to be like an animatic thing. I, for some reason, remember hearing it would have a different art style, but I'm not sure where that comes from. I think bending the style could maybe let them get more emotive and creative with it, which could be cool. But anyway, the main thing is a series of 3 shorts, and it might be that those shorts will depend on people having first seen the burning of Teldrassil cutscene. So that would mean that the announcement of them and their release would have to happen after the pre-patch drops on the 17th. Now, there's only one thing to do in the face of such evidence. We need to zoom and enhance. So let's kick it off with Jaina, who is in June or October. We previously know that she pretty much just went off soloing demons during Legion, and in the first image, we see Jaina in a boat, seemingly traveling through a cave. Above her, we see torrents of magic, and there's a figure behind her. Now, seemingly that's the oarsman of the boat, and the October image gives us another angle of the same scene. So she's in some sort of cave network. She is probably being taken somewhere mysterious, but we don't really know where. It doesn't immediately resemble anywhere on Azeroth to my eye, but it seems pretty obvious she's probably seeking something like a source of power, some new information, kind of something like that. As for Ashara, well, we see 2 shots of her. In the first one, she has just been blasted into the ocean following the Sundering. She's confronted by a fish, and not just any fish, an evil fish, because it's got red eyes. Artists. Anyway, this is likely representing her in Azoth, so the next shot is just a full-blown one of her as a Naga, so I'm assuming this is going to fill players in on the backstory of Ashara. And then as for Sylvanas, well, there's 2 shots from her short, it seems. One of them is a Scourge soldier driving its sword downwards, and another one is a character shot of her, of course, alive, so probably another origin story, or maybe a flashback from a broader short. Of course, that's the defining moment in her life, so I think it would make sense if they were to use this short to reinforce her perspective to players. She's one of the more internally torn up characters that you'll find with a skewed perspective, so it could be that a lot of her actions will make a lot more sense through the first person. And then I suppose the calendar is also rounded off by those really nice paintings of Teldrassil, and overall it's kind of interesting. First, lovely art, but I'm assuming that this is from the 3 shorts for a few different reasons. First of all, there's a clear visual progression in most of them. If a piece of key art was being drawn with the intent of existing solely on its own, then the full quality variations would not be drawn. Here though, we see multiple angles of the same scene, seemingly with time progression between them. That pretty much does mean it's an animated short, plus the style does seem to be visually consistent between all 3. Now, I'm super keen to see what these could be. It could just be a series that's done pre-launch, or it could be something that rolls out as the expansion progresses, because right now the BfA marketing is 100% Sylvanas, Anduin, War. Ashara might seem really confusing if she came out right now, plus we are cutting it really close to the expansion's release date, so a part of me wonders if these will be released in a way that makes sense with the game's life. So perhaps the Sylvanas and Jaina ones are pre-launch, maybe the Ashara one is 8.1, because Ashara is likely the second raid of Battle for Azeroth. Alright, let's quickly change gears to round it off, because we've got something else that's really cool for the Dark Iron Dwarf, Rachel. I know I've talked about this a lot, but it turns out you can unlock even more teleportation points for your mole machine. So far, there's over 16. And yeah, your mole machine can even just travel to other planets, so it really does make the Vindicar a little bit redundant. That's definitely something that's pretty damn awesome for the Dark Iron Dwarves. So with all that stuff covered, I just want to round it off by talking about the pre-patch. And here we are, it is the pre-patch to what I call WoW's kind of second modern expansion. I really do think that Cataclysm, Mop, and WoD were all just an interesting period of experimentation that was full of wins and losses. Legion, of course, did have its ups and its downs, but if you look at Battle for Azeroth from a systems perspective, it kind of is Legion 2. So what I mean to say is that I think Legion is where they finally established the identity for modern World of Warcraft, and Battle for Azeroth is the first expansion to be able to use that as its basis, which is just kind of interesting. As for the pre-patch, of course, hits the Americans the 17th, Euros the 18th. It's going to be systems changes, the initial Darkshore quests, with more of that stuff unlocking over time, eventually leading into the battle for Lordaeron, and then, of course, over the next month, we're going to see the cinematics that cover those events. Those should be quite revelatory in nature, giving us a lot of the context that we see from the expansion. Of course, I'm going to have a full video covering everything you need to know, a sort of ultimate survival guide in the next few days. But for now, I think it's probably just best to maybe, I don't know, get some of those characters from 71 to 81, try to get your Mage Tower, and really just tie off all of your End of Legion business, because we really are about to wrap up. Then, class reviews, they're still in the works. We're almost a third of the way there, but the pace is going to pick up a bit soon enough. It's weird, each of those videos has got 4 people's work on them now. I'm getting writing assistance from Matt, who is a Mythic Rating friend of mine and who also works in the game company. Then Connell edits, and the scripts are reviewed by the Icy Veins writers. It's still the stage where I'm very much the bottleneck in production, but yeah, having that help has been fantastic, and that series should be rounded off in the next 2, maybe 2.5 weeks. and then I'll round that off with my main pick and my role roundups. But yeah, there we go. That's pretty much it for the video. It's going to be a massive week in the channel, so keep an eye open for that. It's also going to be a very strange week for me in real life, and you will see why as the week progresses, so I guess keep an eye out for that. And yeah, thank you for watching this video. A massive thank you to everyone over on Patreon for supporting the channel. And with all that said, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.